back to PRSSA Podcasts. I'm Rolane, the National Vice President of Brand Engagement for 2024-2025. Today, we are sitting down with Milagros Orcoyen, the PRSSA National President, to talk about the power of PRSSA and how it can lead to change in the field of public relations. Milagros is a senior at the Universidad Argentina de la Empresa in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Poised to graduate in December 2024 with a major in public relations and institutional communication. Milagros has been working with PRSSA since her freshman year, serving on the events committee for her local chapter as the conference coordinator for their first ever district conference. The last 2 years, Milagros has served as the PRSSA National Vice President of Events and Fundraising, and in April 2023, she was awarded the Elaine Averick Outstanding National Committee Member Award for her remarkable contributions to the National Committee. These experiences have led her to bring a variety of perspectives and experiences into this new role, serving as the PRSSA National President for the 2024-2025 term. Outside of PRSSA, she volunteers at a Sustainable Development Center at the University of Buenos Aires and works as a writer at the Jane Goodall Institute, Argentina. She also contributes to the Professional Council for Public Relations of Argentina. In her free time, she enjoys biking, going for long walks, and listening to podcasts, and we are so excited to have her with us today to share her insights on the development and the power of PRSSA. Welcome. Thank you so much for sitting down.
Hi, Ro. Thank you. I'm so excited.
It's going to be a good one. So to just kind of jump right into it, as someone who has been deeply involved in PRSSA since your freshman year, how has PRSSA shaped your career path and professional development?
It has shaped it in so many ways. PRSSA, its mission is to help students enhance their education, broaden their network, and launch their careers. And it truly does that. I mean, it has shaped my career in so many ways, from planning my chapter's district conference to attending the district conference, attending icon, attending leadership assembly, running for leadership positions. I think it has helped me gain confidence in myself, my capabilities, learn more about our industry, stay on top of industry trends, and just be prepared to work with people from all over. I think that's what's most important. PRSSA is an international organization. We get to connect with students and professionals from all over. And I think that in the future, now more than ever, we will be working with professionals from all over with different experiences, stories, backgrounds. And PRSSA helps you prepare for that. When you get to work in your chapter with people from different backgrounds, or when you attend conferences and connect with people from all over the globe, you get this invaluable international networking experience, and you get to work and learn from and about people from all over. And I think that's what's most valuable.
Yeah, awesome. It's definitely like whenever I pitch it to students, I kind of frame it as like it is the catalyst for your career. Like me 2 years ago before I was involved with PRSSA is like a world away from who I am
Mm.
now. And it's truly because of PRSSA that I'm the me I am now.
Mhm.
Um and kind of going into our next question, PRSSA offers incredible networking opportunities. How has building connections within PRSSA contributed to your success? And what advice do you have to students looking to expand their network through the organization?
That's a really good question. And as you've mentioned, PRSSA is an international organization. I think that sometimes it's hard for us to step out of our local bubble. And of course, connecting with our chapter and people from our area is amazing and so helpful and enriching. But I think we also need to step out of that local bubble and connect with students and professionals from all over our organization and from all over the globe. So by attending conferences, both in person or virtually, or just exploring my PRSA and connecting with professionals on the member directory or the champions or on the LinkedIn group or social media, there are so many opportunities for us to connect with our community, both in person and virtually. And as I was saying, in the future, now more than ever, we will be working with people from all over. And it's important for us to understand different perspectives and learn from everyone's different stories and backgrounds. And PRSSA is the perfect place to do that. And as I mentioned, in-person events are super helpful, but we can keep the conversation
Mhm.
going throughout the year beyond our in-person events. And I think that's what's most important. For us to find a way to keep that conversation going beyond in-person
Yeah,
interactions.
so like especially with you, I know that students can do like a virtual coffee chat with you and just
Hmm.
um even just to like sit and have like a casual conversation and talk about these things, or if it's like a more our chapter is struggling, or like I need advice on anything. Like there are so many ways that students can continue to stay connected, especially with the national committee. I feel like it's even easier now than it has been in the past to stay committed, not committed, connected to the national committee beyond international, or yeah, these international events. But even just like your local chapters, like we have district conferences coming up, and I know that UADE is hosting a
Hmm.
hybrid conference. So students from the US can technically attend this conference without even leaving their home. And so it it's amazing how PRSSA is kind of like transformed into this ability to continue connecting with people. And that's what PR is. Like we are the connectors of the world and everything.
Hmm.
So um our next question is, as national president, how do you see PRSSA fostering leadership skills among its members? And how has your own leadership journey with PRSSA impacted your personal and professional growth?
Hmm. So there's so many ways for us to get involved in leadership positions within PRSSA. I mean, members can serve in leadership positions within their chapters, their student-run firm, or they could run for a national position and serve on the national committee. And these opportunities are truly invaluable. I think that as students, we need to strengthen and enhance our leadership skills. And PRSSA provides so many opportunities for us to do that, both at a local and international level. So, from my personal experience, when I was a freshman, I served as the director of the events committee at my chapter and then as a district conference coordinator. And I think that as a first year student, having the opportunity to
Mhm.
lead a team of 20 plus people, it was so enriching. And from the very beginning, I was already getting involved in leadership, team dynamics. And then I started serving on the national committee. And that was, and it still is, such an enriching experience and learning experience. Um, Especially having to work with a virtual team and
Mhm.
people from all over with different time zones. Like you truly get to learn so much. And you learn so much about working with people from different parts of the globe and understanding our cultural differences. Like, for instance, when I started serving on the national committee, I had to understand your academic calendar for your schools and understand your holidays that perhaps we don't have in Argentina. And then I taught everyone else my holidays. And it's something that in the future, when we will be working at companies with people from different
Mhm.
countries, you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep time zones in mind. Everyone has different preferences, different experiences. So PRSSA gives you the opportunity to start learning that while you're still a student. So then when you graduate, you're already like a step ahead in the game,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and like even just speaking, like I think I first met you, it's only been like a year and a half ago since I met you. And even just seeing like your personal confidence having grown since
Mm.
that first time I've met you to now, I can surely believe that it's because you've been involved with PRSSA, you've become more sure of yourself and you know who you are now more than you did a year and a half ago. And I mean, it's the same for me. Like I am a world of a different person than I was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Um, and it's because I've been in these leadership positions and I have wanted to be involved with PRSSA. Um, and so even just like on a internal level, like it grows your confidence and then outward, it's amazing. Um, so our next question is kind of along the lines of diversity in PRSSA.
Mhm.
So PR is a very diverse field, and we are increasingly becoming a more diverse field than we have in the past. How has PRSSA helped you and other students discover your specific passions within public relations? And how can students take full advantage of the resources PRSSA offers to explore their interests?
Mhm. That's another really good question. And I feel like before deciding to study PR, I already knew that I was super passionate about sustainability, CSR. I almost studied environmental science because it's something that I'm truly passionate about. But then I decided to study PR. And I think that PRSSA has helped me find a connection with both of my passions. Like in terms of sustainability, I'm mostly interested in the social aspect of it. And with PRSA, by searching information on my PRSA or by reading strategies and tactics and the different emails that we receive and just staying updated on our industry trends, um, I've been able to learn so much about the connection between
Hmm.
sustainability and PR. And I think both PRSSA and PRSA provide so many resources for us to learn more about the different options we have within PR. We can attend webinars. We can read our weekly emails with information on our industry. We can attend the PRSSA journal meetings or read articles. There are so many options for us to keep learning and staying curious. And as PRSSA members, I encourage everyone to take advantage of that. Um, as I was saying, PRSSA helps you stay ahead in the game of PR and our industry. And it helps you find your passion. You can also connect with mentors. For example, the champions for PRSSA. The champions are basically a group of professionals who come together because they want to help students like us and they want to mentor us. And we can reach out to any of the champions anytime, and they would be more than happy to help us in any way possible. So students can reach out to champions and they can talk about their passions, their interests, and the champions can help us learn more about our industry and what we're interested in. Or the same with the PRC Mentor Connect program. That's another great opportunity for us to connect with professionals. And when you enroll on the Mentor Connect program, you can select what you're looking for in a mentor. So, for example, if I'm interested in CSR, I can select that. If I'm looking to connect with my mentor in person or virtually, I can select that as well. And then the program, they match you with a mentor that meets your requirements or preferences. So if someone would like to learn more about a specific part of our industry, they can select that in the program and then have that conversation with a mentor.
That's so cool. Um, and that's another great way to continue staying connected beyond conferences as well. It's like there are so many resources at people's disposal, but I don't know if they know about them all that much, which is why it's important to do podcasts like these and kind of talk about all of these different initiatives that students have access to and that national committees past have like implemented and tried to advocate for students and like how we will continue to do that.
Questions.
Coming from Argentina, how do you see PRSSA's influence on a global scale? Because I know that the expansion to an international organization has only been like a newer development. Like it's not something that's been around for a long time, and we're continuing to try to expand on the international level. And then, what unique insights or opportunities do you think the organization has to offer our international members?
Mm. I absolutely love this question. I've been such a champion for international development within PRSSA. Um, And it really fills my heart with joy to see how much we are growing internationally. So, for instance, for this year's Leadership Assembly back in March, we hosted a virtual fundraiser to help Latin American chapters attend Leadership Assembly, and we reached our fundraising goal, and they made it to Assembly. And now for ICON, we did that as well, and we have two students from Peru, two from Puerto Rico, and one from Argentina attending ICON, and not just attending our in-person conferences, but we are seeing more involvement at an international level in all aspects of PRSSA. For instance, by having students serve on our national subcommittees, or hosting district conferences, or attending our virtual events, writing for progressions. And it's exciting to see how much PRSSA is growing internationally. We have more interest in universities who want to start their PRSSA chapters. And I think that enriches the membership experience for everyone. As I was saying before, we need to understand different perspectives and different cultures, and being a part of an organization that has students from all over the globe is the perfect way for us to learn, connect, and share experiences with people with different backgrounds from different countries, with different experiences. So I think it's beneficial for all of us. And it's so exciting to see how much PRSSA is growing. Um, Now, for example, at our in-person events, I remember that one time when I attended Icon in Dallas. It was my first Icon in person, and I mentioned that it was from Argentina. And then after I mentioned that, so many students came to say hi, and they were so excited to see someone from Latin America serve on the national committee. And that made me realize that representation matters so much. Seeing everyone like being so happy to see a different voice and different perspective on the national committee. It fills my heart with joy. So that's why I think it's important to have people from different positions, experiences, and backgrounds having a seat at the table.
Yeah, and especially because you are the first international student, international PRSSA member to be the national president. And so it's really just showing that we can evolve to have even more international students on our board. Um and that's always a great thing to show that we are continuing to evolve and grow with that diversity and everything. Um so yeah, congratulations on being the first
Thank
international
you.
national president, or the international national president. Yeah. So as we've kind of mentioned, you were district conference coordinator at UADE your freshman year, and then for 2 years you served as the vice president of events and fundraising. So you have played a key role in organizing a lot of PRSSA events. As I said, including district conferences, especially those. So how do those types of events, especially like on the smaller level that are sometimes a lot more affordable for students to attend, contribute to the growth of students and professionals? And what advice would you give to those looking to kind of capitalize on those opportunities?
Mhm. I would say my biggest advice is don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If you're going with friends, try to split up. Sit down with someone you don't know. Speak with them. I mean, if you're attending the conference, you want to network, you want to connect. Of course, you want to learn, listen to the professionals, but you also want to network and connect with new students, new professionals. I know that sometimes it can be hard to sit with someone you don't know and start that conversation. But I promise it's so enriching, and you will be grateful if you end up doing that. Um, and I think that smaller events, they have their own spark.
Mhm.
Of course, like in person and big conferences are super special and unique in their own way. But smaller events are very special too. I mean, I think that you get to perhaps connect with attendees at a more personal level,
Mhm.
or have more personal conversations since it's like a smaller group.
Right.
And if you're attending a district conference, for instance, you get to connect with people from your area.
Mhm.
So if you attend a district conference, you can connect with a chapter close to you and brainstorm future collaborations that you can do after that conference, whether it's in person or virtually. So I think trying to take advantage of those opportunities at smaller events
Mhm.
to make those personal connections. And if you're attending a district conference, to connect with people from your area for future collaborations, that's essential. And then, besides stepping out of your comfort zone and connecting with people you don't know, I think it's important to, as we were saying before, keep the conversation
Right.
going beyond that initial interaction. So reach out after the conference, schedule a coffee chat, or make those potential future collaborations happen. Um, I think conferences are as effective as long as you take everything that you learn and the
Mm-hmm.
connections that you make and keep that momentum going
Right.
beyond the event itself.
Yeah, don't let it just live in a bubble. Like let it grow and bloom into whatever
Hmm.
it can be. And this is kind of like not a sharp left, but we're kind of pivoting a little bit here. So we've talked a lot about all the amazing opportunities and all of the fantastic things that you've kind of accomplished on national committee and in PRSSA in general. So, what type of challenges have you faced in your journey in PRSSA, both as a member, as a national committee member, and now as national president? And how have these experiences kind of shaped your leadership style? Because I
Hmm.
always believe that even if it's not the most successful thing, there's something to learn from it. And I know that that has been a big thing for myself is letting myself kind of struggle with some things and then coming out of it and knowing how I would do that different next time, and it changes how I react if it comes up again.
Hmm. So I think I have two challenges that came to my mind. The first was more like on a personal level. Um, so as you all know, I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and my native language is not English. Like I speak Spanish. I learned English at school, but of course it's not the
Mhm.
same. So at first I wasn't super confident in myself. Like I was scared to speak up when I wanted to run for national committee. I was so nervous for the Q&A because sometimes I have that idea in my mind, but it's hard for me to put the words to that idea, especially if I'm nervous and I'm speaking English. Um, but I did it anyway, and I'm so glad that I did. And I think that in terms of leadership, it's helped me understand that everyone has its own challenges and
Mhm.
everyone has their own fears, or perhaps they don't feel super comfortable with something in particular. So it's helped me be more empathetic and understanding of everyone's
Mhm.
experiences and feelings. And whenever I'm meeting with my vice presidents on the national committee or with anyone in general, I try to make sure I understand where they're coming from and their own perspective and their own challenges,
Mhm.
and try to provide tailored advice and support from based on their own challenges and experiences. And then the other challenge that I would mention is serving on the national committee and leading team virtually.
Mhm.
I think that's been a huge challenge because we have like members from truly all
Right.
over with different time zones, different schedules, different academic calendars. So it's been challenging to keep a team motivated when we're working virtually, when we only see each other in person 2 times a year. But I think having our virtual coffee chats or virtual game nights, that's helped a lot. Trying to spark the conversation on our Slack channel, or just trying to have those small conversations besides work.
Mhm.
Um, I know that connecting or keeping the conversation going virtually can be challenging, but try to take advantage of those in-person interactions, and then again keep the conversation going beyond that in-person interaction. Um and also it has taken a lot of learning in terms of understanding the cultural differences. Like Win, for example, she's from Vietnam, so understanding her own celebrations, or when she was in Vietnam for the summer, understanding her different time zone and what she was doing in Vietnam. Or just like understanding your academic calendar and your holidays. Like for example, we don't have Thanksgiving in Argentina, but I know that you have Thanksgiving, so I have that on my calendar, and that way I know that I won't be sending you anymore on Thanksgiving. So that's been a huge challenge, but also learning experience. And it also comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and being empathetic and understanding of
Mhm.
everyone's own routines, experiences, background. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. As you look ahead to the future of PRSSA and the future of public relations in general, what message do you want to share with the next generation of PR students and professionals who are just starting their journey?
Hmm. This is such a good question. And I would say keep championing for diversity. I know that this is something that I've mentioned multiple times in our conversation. Um, but as PR professionals, we need to
Mhm.
understand everyone's diverse experiences, backgrounds, preferences, needs. So try to be as empathetic as possible, be a lifelong learner, ask questions, be curious, and keep in mind that everyone's different.
Right.
Everyone has their own experiences. So try to be as empathetic as possible. And again, don't be afraid to ask questions and be open and ready to learn. I think that when it comes to diversity, um, there's no stop in learning.
Mhm.
We have to keep being curious, have that lifelong learning mindset, and keep learning all the time. Like things are changing all the time, so we need to be open and ready to learn and staying curious all the time.
Yeah, that's like a personal lifelong motto is like always be a lifelong learner. I feel like the second you stop learning is the second you stop like actually living, which that sounds very macabre and morbid, but that's not what it means. It's just like you stop growing as a person and you stop truly like living your life when you stop learning things. Because then you're just the you that you've always been and you're not the you that you're going to
Hmm.
be. And so I love that and that like advice. I forgot the word. I love that piece of advice because that is a personal motto of mine. Um, and going into a couple of our last questions, what initiatives or goals are you most excited to continue pursuing during your term as PRSSA National President? And how do you hope to continue leading that change in the field of public
Hmm.
relations?
So the National Committee this year we are guided by three main pillars, which are the three L's: link, lesson, and left. And all of our initiatives they fall under this three main concepts for
Mhm.
the year. And I think that since the pandemic, we've really focused on the community aspect of PRSSA. Because I truly think that that's what makes PRSSA
Mhm.
so special, like our community and the people who are a part of PRSSA. So, in terms of goals and initiatives, I would say that I'm most looking forward to keep building that community
Right.
aspect of PRSSA. Keep providing opportunities for students to connect both in person and virtually. So, for instance, we've recently launched a Slack for chapter presidents, and I'm so excited about that initiative because I think it will truly help our chapter leaders stay connected and keep the conversation going. I'm excited about district conferences, leadership assembly, icon that's happening this weekend.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I would say we are doing so much in terms of building connections and helping strengthen the community of PRSSA. And I can't wait to see everything we'll continue to accomplish. We have so many initiatives coming up in terms of
Mhm.
community, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and this is one of them, implementing the video form of these podcasts. So, it's really cool to see how like all of our different positions, we're all still working towards the same goals, even when we didn't know we were going to be working towards the same goals. Um, and it makes it even easier having a national president who wants us to accomplish these goals and make PRSSA a more diverse, accessible, inclusive organization that is all about community within our field. And yeah, it's awesome and it's so exciting. I'm so excited to see how everybody else like ties up. I say ties up. It's barely been like 3 months since we started this term, but it's flying by and it's gonna keep flying by. Um, and now as we wrap up, where can some of the listeners of this podcast and watchers of this podcast find you on social
Mhm.
media?
So you can find me everywhere. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm Milagros Orcoyen. Connect with me there. I'm always happy to chat, always happy to connect. So reach out anytime. You can email me at nationalpresident at prsa.org. Again, I'm always here, available. You can follow me on Instagram. It's milagros.orcoyen. And if you follow the PRSSA national account on the Linktree, you have the virtual coffee chats with the national president. So you can schedule a meeting with me, and I would love to connect with you, love to chat. So please do that. And I'm always here, available, and happy to help.
Awesome. And are there any parting words you'd like to share?
So I would say, as we were speaking before, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Ask questions, be a lifelong learner, and just do it. Like, as I mentioned before, I was so scared to run for national committee, and I still did it. And I truly think that it wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for that. So don't be afraid to do it. Try to be confident in yourself and take the leap. Just do it, and you will learn so much from that experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today and telling us all about the power of PRSSA and how students can continue to utilize that power themselves. Um, for more information about PRSSA National's initiatives, more information to get involved with PRSSA and to keep up with Milagros, check out any of the social media links down below. Ways to connect with PRSSA National are also linked down below. And if you have any ideas for a PRSSA podcast episode, please reach out to myself, Ro Lane, at vpbrandengagement@prsa.org. And if you've made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much for listening and watching. This has been Leading the Charge, Milagros Orcoyen, PRSSA National President, on the power of PRSSA. Stay tuned to our social media channels or turn on your post notifications to be notified with a new episode of PRSSA podcasts when it is released. Thanks.